What's going to happen to the election? What's going to happen to the markets? What's going to happen to the price of silver and gold? Well, let's find out. So to put it into context, I'm filming this on the 4th of November and it's morning in Europe. And which means that it's around 2 a.m. in the United States, I think, on the East Coast. And I've just seen some of the pre-election sort of the ongoing results. And I just saw Biden and Trump both declare themselves as winners of the 2020 election. And I just this channel isn't a political channel, just to put it out there. But I want to just put it out there what I think might happen. So I think we'll have a contested election, which we most likely will have once we have all the results in. Who will contest? I think if Biden wins, Trump will for sure contest. If Trump wins, Biden might contest. But it looks like we are going to have a contested election. What do I think will happen to the stock market if there is a contested election? If we have a contested election, I think the stock market will readjust. I think that currently the stock market is pricing in more for a Biden win rather than a Trump win. So we saw that the latest polls were out. I think 2 days ago, there was a sell-off before the election. I don't know if you remember this, but a few days ago, the stock market adjusted over the course of 2 days, around 2% every single day, right? That was a sell-off. But right after that, right on the day, the 3rd, the stock market rallied. It rallied 500 points. And the 2nd it rallied, and then afterwards it still rallied a little bit more. I think that's more that people who were pricing in a Biden victory were buying more stocks. They're expecting Biden to do better. Because on that same day, you had news that the polls were expecting a wide margin for a Biden victory. Which candidate do I support? I don't support either. Like I said, it doesn't really matter for the price who wins, really. It really doesn't matter at this point who wins. What most likely will happen is that we will have more uncertainty. And like I said, in 2020, the most certain thing is uncertainty. And we will have every single type of uncertainty that we can have. That is, we will have a contested election. I think it's very possible that either party members, the losing member, will contest the election. They will drag it through the courts as much as possible until it reaches the Supreme Court. How the Supreme Court will decide, I don't know what will the Supreme Court decide, but I have an idea that it will rule in favor of Donald Trump because there are more Republican judges on the Supreme Court relative to Democratic judges. So, what will happen to the price of silver and gold? I think that the stock market and all the other financial markets have not priced in a potential Trump victory. It's overly in favor of a Biden victory. And the reason why is not because of Wall Street or Main Street, is because all the foreign investors are expecting a Biden victory, but they do not understand how the Electoral College works and how the Supreme Court works. So, what will happen? Well, I think most likely there's a possibility that if Donald Trump wins and ends up being the president, the stock market will crash. And it will crash in a very, very dramatic way. And knowing Donald Trump, he will pressure the Federal Reserve and pressure Congress and pressure the Senate to do as much stimulus as possible to bring back the stock market because he believes that the stock market is a measurement of the economy. Sure. Is that good for silver and gold? It is amazing for silver and gold if that happens. It will be a great rally. It will be a lot of quantitative easing, a lot of fiscal stimulus, a lot of spending, and essentially it will kill any type of returns you can expect for bonds and any type of returns you can expect for stocks because, well, maybe not. Stocks might do well because companies can just issue junk bonds and they'll be bought up and they can run share buyback programs, but it will definitely weaken the dollar. So what will happen after that? Most likely, gold and silver will start to rally. I don't think we'll see a huge rally in that we're going to see $10,000 gold and $10,000 silver. We most likely will see silver go up. I don't know how much, but I would not say that it's out of this world to see $30 plus silver and to see 25,000 plus gold. That is very possible. Not necessarily end of this year, but maybe sometime around February next year or May, March. It's a possibility. It's not a definite thing. It's what I think could happen. It's my opinion. I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. I didn't do any analysis, technical analysis on why I think this could happen. I do think, though, if I think about how people are reacting to the stock market and how they're news trading, that the current market is priced purely for a Biden victory. And it's not pricing the stocks and bonds to a lesser extent, but stocks to a Biden victory, to a Trump victory, sorry. And if Biden doesn't win, then we'll see a very heavy readjustment of stock prices. Although right now, if you were to look at the stock market or the different stocks and the pre-trading and the futures of certain stocks, you can see a lot of exuberance. People are like pulsing and everything's going really crazy. There's a lot of market exuberance, but I think that will settle by Friday. Friday, we'll have a better picture of what's going to happen next. And we'll know. Do I think you should keep stacking gold and silver? I think during these times that are so uncertain, I definitely will I'll keep on stacking gold and silver. What will I stack more of? I think from this point onwards, I'm quite happy with my quantity of silver. I feel like I have enough silver. I most likely will pick up more gold and platinum. Now, some of you don't like platinum. I don't have very much of it, but I think having a little bit of it is better than having none of it. So I'm gonna pick up a little bit of platinum, and I will definitely pick up more fractional gold. I'll pick up, my favorite type of gold is this type of Swiss 20 Swiss franc gold that's under $400. You can find these, the 20 Swiss franc, the 20 French franc. They are 5.8 grams of fine gold at almost zero premiums. Also, I believe sovereigns, some of these older sovereigns from the early 1900s, 22 carats, 8 grams, 7.32 grams of gold, they are very good because there's almost no premium on them. Will I be picking up more silver? I might pick up some numismatic silver. I might pick up a bottle of lunar ox or lunar bulls because I think we'll be in a bull year. And maybe I might pick up some more rounds, so more buffalo rounds. Will I be buying more American Eagles? I'll think about it. I might buy a tube of 2020 American Eagles just because 2020 is a year to own. If you're going to own Eagles out of any year, 2020 will be the last year they're doing the sort of traditional shield eagle, and they'll be moving on to the new American Eagle coin design. So get them while you can. I think they will potentially have some numismatic value despite being just pure bullion coins. I think in the long term, they'll have some numismatic value. Do I think silver will shoot to the moon if you buy silver now? I don't think silver is going to shoot to the moon. Did I think that silver was in a correction phase a few days ago? I said it a few days ago that I ordered gold. I have some gold that's coming in. I received notice that this afternoon I have to go pick up some gold. So I did order during the drop, and I ordered my platinum coin during the drop too. So yes, I think we are past that initial correction pre-election. I think people now are looking at precious metals and saying that, holy, yep, there's a lot of uncertainty ahead and we should start buying. I think it is the start of a potential bull run. I don't think we are going to be in a bear market anytime soon. It's very unlikely. It's possible. It's very possible. Where do I think we can be in a bear market? Well, if there is a huge crash and people start selling stocks and they don't fly to bonds, but they hold on to dollars, the dollar will strengthen. People will start buying more dollars. Foreign investors will buy more dollars. They will buy dollars because maybe previously they were holding financial assets. They liquidated those assets and they see that the American markets have dropped. So they will move into the American market space by first buying dollars. You have to buy dollars before you can buy American assets. So most likely, if there's a readjustment on the stock market, we'll see an influx of foreign investors and the first phase buying more dollars and strengthening the dollars. So if you see a crash and you see that gold moves downwards was a crash and silver moves downward was a crash, you don't have to worry too much. As long as it's not moving at the same speed as a crash, and you can check that it's purely the dollar strengthening against other currencies such as the Swiss franc, then you are aware that it's the dollar strengthening and not gold seeing a sell-off, okay? So if the dollar weakens and if the dollar strengthens, then gold prices will readjust and weaken. And if gold prices weaken slightly, at this point, I don't think anybody would try to sell a lot of gold or run away from gold. It will just mean that you will be able to pick up gold for a little bit cheaper before the major long-term bull run, the potential bull run. Do I think we're going to see upward momentum for gold for a long time? I think until the situation changes, the current health situation changes, the current the current economic situation changes. Oops. And it will take at least another, I think this cycle, we're going to see a 16-year cycle where we're going to go downwards for at least half of that, or at least a third of that. And then we're going to see 1/3 of it move upwards. So maybe we might see an 18-year cycle. So 6 years of downward trending for the overall markets, 6 years of recovery plans kicking into place, and then 6 more years of the final run towards the top. And then we might see some corrections in 16, 18 years. It's possible. And I think, but I don't know I can't tell so far into the future. I just know that currently we're very likely to see a stock market crash. We're very likely to see a rise in the price of the dollar relative to all other assets, because you have to not forget that the dollar is also an asset. So it's a currency, but it's also an asset. People will start buying dollars with other foreign currencies, and if it drops, people will move into the American markets to buy up stocks because it's an opportunity. And at that moment, once they start buying stocks when they're so low and so cheap, that is a moment when you will start seeing a strengthening of gold and silver. And gold and silver will move somewhat upwards. And if they start doing quantitative easing, we're going to see a significant move of gold and silver. So, and I don't think any stimulus or QE will come this year. That's almost for sure. No matter whoever wins the presidency, it's very unlikely that it will come this year. It will most likely come next year, January, February. And I think that it's very likely that we're going to see we're going to see that it's not enough, because the stimulus that's supposed to come, that didn't come, was pretty much stimulus for the summer. It was supposed to be passed earlier, and the stimulus didn't come, so it was delayed until now, and then now they're pushing it back until January, February. By then, I think the economic situation would not be as good as most people think, because here's the thing: during this period, that is this period between November and December, it's the Christmas period. It's a Christmas shopping period. It is the moment when I would say around 80% of businesses make up 50% of their sales during the year. And what has happened with global lockdowns in multiple countries, in France, Germany, and so on, the season is over. It's not going to be a major 50% of your yearly revenue moment, right? We might not even see Black Friday because we're not going to see any stores in the black. They're not going to be in the profit and trying to clear out inventory because they haven't made the numbers. They haven't made the necessary sales yet. Think about it. This year we might not have. When is Black Friday? I'm not too sure. It should be around this period. I'm not from the United States, but I know that you have a period in winter after Thanksgiving, that you have a period where shops are open, you have discounts, and that's when most shops and retailers make a larger number of their profits or their revenue during the year. If that's canceled because of the pandemic, that's going to hurt retail sales a lot. And I think that will be a nail in the coffin for a lot of physical retailers. And a lot of people employed by physical retailers are going to suffer. Will that hurt the economy? Yeah, that's going to hurt the economy. That's really going, when people don't buy stuff, yes, it's going to hurt the economy. Do I think that online will take some of that up? Yes, Amazon might pick some of it up, but most people who aren't able to work, they're not going to buy as much. So it's going to have a knock-on effect, the shutdowns, the global shutdowns. It just won't just be in the United States. In Europe, this is a period where people do their Christmas shopping. It's if they right now I'm in a country with a lockdown, so all non-essential services are closed. If there is a continual lockdown, I doubt that a lot of people will be able to do their Christmas shopping. So they won't be able to do it like how they used to do it. That means they walk around stores and they buy random things. The people who used to order a fixed amount of stuff for Christmas every single year, they're going to be fine. But the people who like shopping, like going to stores, looking at stuff, deciding what they want to buy, they're not going to consume as much. So it's going to hurt retail, before Christmas retail, quite badly. And I'm starting to see some signs of it, especially in the food sector for Christmas foods. Pies and all these traditional Christmas foods in the stores near me, they're all on discount. They're all on sale. Things that typically sold for $50, like salmon. I know some special Christmas salmon for around $50 a package. It would sell now for $20. There's this huge sale going on, and I'm seeing the product even at $20. It's not moving. People are not in a festive mood. People are not ready to celebrate. People are scared. People are in lockdown. They're buying masks. They're buying dried goods. They're buying essentials. And they're not thinking of having a big celebration. And that is going to hurt Christmas sales a lot. So yeah, and I think potentially by January next year, we're going to see really a significant of a real, we're going to feel the downturn in the economy. We're going to see the downturn in the economy in the stock markets and in the bond markets. I'm not a financial channel. Remember that. I don't make a lot of predictions. I don't want this channel to be about speculation, about how silver and gold change in price. My focus is a lot about wealth preservation, saving money, in buying things that save money. Typically, I see this kind as a savings account. This is where I stash money in a non-government form in materials that was treated as money for over 5,000 years. And I don't know what will happen to this. I know that most likely it will not lose value, but how much more value can it gain relative to fiat currency in the midterm. I would say this is more midterm. I don't know. If you wanted to speculate, I think you could go buy some cryptocurrencies. My opinion of cryptocurrencies is that people don't know what they're buying. Essentially, a lot of people think that if they are buying Bitcoin, they're buying the underlying asset of cryptocurrencies. That's not true. Do I think that cryptocurrencies will benefit from the current situation and uncertainty? Yes, in the short term. Do I think in the long term it will benefit? I think that will be very difficult. Because what people don't understand is when you buy Bitcoin, it's kind of like saying buying a Windows 98 CD and saying that you're buying the underlying technology of Microsoft. And somehow that Windows 98 CD will make you rich and you're paying $10,000 for the Windows 98 CD. And potentially, if you're one version, if I remember, a copy of Windows 98 in 98 was a few, unless you bought a pirated version, you had to pay $1,000 for a license. Obviously, nobody who bought the Windows CD thought it was the underlying asset of Windows. People who bought the stock, Microsoft stock, back in the early 2000s, yeah, when it was, I think, what was it? It was like $8 a stock. They were buying the underlying asset. And Windows was proprietary technology. What is the underlying asset of cryptocurrency? Well, it's the source code to run the nodes and to run the blockchain. And that stuff is given out for free. It's open source. If there was a license on it, and people said that they were buying the underlying asset of cryptocurrencies, and they were buying the company that owned the license and the issuer of the Bitcoin blockchain style proof of work blockchain license, then yeah, you would be buying the underlying asset of a cryptocurrency. But this one, the asset is for free and is distributed freely to everybody. Um, I, how do I feel about the situation? I think everybody is a bit different, and I'm not looking forward actually to a world where you have a $10,000 an ounce gold, because for me that would mean that society essentially, we're like in Venezuela, and there's people dying of hunger, and there's people who have lost everything, and to no fault of their own. And it's not a good place to be. And I really don't wish that onto anybody. I'm doing the best I can to prepare myself, but I know that not everybody, some people are still in denial. You can do your best to try and help them, but I don't wish them harm. I don't want a world where you have $10,000 gold and paper money is completely worthless, and most people have their savings in paper money and they're out in the streets not able to get food. That's not a good place to be. That's not a good society to live in. Does it mean that you shouldn't be prepared? I think you should be prepared. I think people need to prepare themselves a little bit, and I think people need to be aware that the erosion of your purchasing power and of your wealth is potentially coming, and it will be in either the form of QE, which tends to rob savings indirectly by robbing future earnings on interest, or you have or we have an extreme fiscal stimulus, which will increase debt and reduce returns on corporate returns. So yeah, which also means that debt can no longer be you can't raise interest on debt unless you want a lot of companies to go bust. And at that point, what do? If you can't raise debt, you have inflating asset prices. You get asset bubbles like real estate bubbles and so on. And then you also increase wealth inequality because people's incomes no longer follow asset growth, because companies, definitely the first thing they do when they borrow money isn't to increase everybody's wages, is to increase share buybacks for their shareholders. That's what shareholders will vote for, not to increase their employees' wages, but to increase share buybacks. So that's kind of my take. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I have one of these Silver Eagles. I really like Silver Eagles. I chose it today because it's the election. That's why I'm holding this coin. I think, let me know what you think will happen to silver and gold, platinum, palladium. cryptocurrencies. Share your knowledge with the community. Talk to people. Let people know, like maybe you know something that you want to share and that could help others. Um, and also, I don't know everything. I don't have the answers to everything. This is all like my opinion. It's not financial advice. You have to do your own research. You have to go and look at verified sources. You have to try and understand the markets a bit yourself, how things move. And also, this is not a speculation channel. I don't talk a lot about how prices move. I talk about what I buy and how much of it I'm buying, but I don't talk about how much I want it to go up. I'm not going to tell you that silver is going to pop or anything. I'm saying that it might. This is the first time in my channel where I'm concretely coming out and saying my opinion on where I think things will move. But I mean, I think concretely, if you were to ask me to clarify what I think will happen and how will it move, I think by the end of the year, because of the inability of politicians to work together and the continuous infighting between the political parties in the United States, we are going to see something like $40 silver and 2,500 an ounce gold by May next year. May, probably around May. And it's going to be a very stressful and painful situation. That's my opinion. Um, but do I think you should try and? I mean, I made this channel to try and help people, educate them a little bit about saving money. And initially, it was about like putting aside a little bit of gold and silver every single month so that you could save a little bit and not spend it. But right now, with the current situation, the currently evolving situation, every single day is different. It's more about how can you prep yourself the best way and not get hurt, and and it's very different. I think there's not really. I think you should have some liquidity. You should have cash on hand in case you need to pay bills and you need to pay. You have definitely debts to pay down, but don't overstretch yourself. Like I always say, don't overstretch yourself. Don't buy too much into it. Um, Always be somewhat moderate in your consumption of everything, whether it's coffee or silver or gold. Don't overstretch your finances and stay safe, stay healthy. And thank you for watching. This is Silver Dave. Leave a like, click the bell button, click the subscribe button, and feel free to comment. I reply to everything. Dave out.